Could the cosmos itself possess a kind of awareness? For centuries, we have gazed at the stars and wondered about our place in the grand scheme. Today, we are exploring a radical possibility that the universe might not be a cold, empty void, but a vast, thinking entity. We are about to journey through 30 incredible theories that bridge the gap between quantum physics and consciousness. You will discover how the very act of observation might create reality, why black holes could be cosmic brains, and whether the universe is one giant, conscious hologram. By the end, you will have a new framework for understanding everything from the particles in your body to the farthest galaxies. What single idea about our universe most captures your imagination? The universe seems to demand a witness. This is the profound and unsettling core of the first theory, the participatory anthropic principle, proposed by physicist John Archibald Wheeler. He turned a fundamental question of existence on its head. We often ask why the universe is perfectly tuned for life, but Wheeler suggested something far more radical. What if life, what if conscious observers, are necessary to bring the universe into being in the first place? This idea finds its roots in the bizarre world of the very small, in a classic experiment that has baffled scientists for decades. Picture the famous double-slit setup. When you fire tiny particles like electrons at a barrier with two slits, they behave as individual particles, creating two neat bands on a detector screen behind it. But when you are not watching, when no one measures which slit the electron goes through, something strange happens. The electron ceases to be a single, localized thing. It behaves as if it is a spread-out wave, passing through both slits at once and creating an interference pattern of multiple bands. The very act of looking, of making a measurement, forces this fuzzy cloud of possibilities to pick a single, definite state. It collapses the wave function, transforming potentiality into concrete reality. Wheeler took this quantum quirk and projected it onto a cosmic scale. He proposed that we are not just passive inhabitants of a pre-built cosmos. We are participants, and our act of observation is a fundamental part of the cosmic creative process. The universe could have remained a haze of unrealized potential, a mere set of equations, without a conscious mind to observe it and, in a very real sense, to finish the job. This leads to a staggering implication. The universe could not have existed without someone someday being here to see it. Our present observations might be reaching back across time, like a reverse echo, solidifying a history that was not yet fully real until this very moment. Are we not just discovering the universe, but actively completing it with every look, with every thought? This quantum collapse might not be confined to human minds. What if the very fabric of space and time possesses a primitive form of awareness? This is the breathtaking leap proposed by the theory of orchestrated objective reduction, or ORCH, or pioneered by the physicist Roger Penrose and the anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff. Their original and highly controversial idea was that our human consciousness is not merely the product of brain cells firing like biological computers. Instead, they suggested it emerges from something far more fundamental, quantum computations happening inside the neurons themselves, within tiny structures called microtubules. These microtubules are the skeletons of our cells, and Penrose and Hameroff proposed they could sustain quantum states, where particles exist in multiple positions at once, right up until a specific threshold is reached. Then they collapse, and from that collapse, a moment of conscious experience is born. Now, expand that idea to the entire cosmos. If our brains can host these tiny quantum collapses that give rise to thought, what about the universe itself? Penrose theorized that the very geometry of spacetime, the stage upon which all reality plays out, might be constantly undergoing its own spontaneous, objective collapses. Everywhere, at the most minute level of existence, reality is flickering between possibilities and settling into definite states. This ceaseless, rhythmic dance of collapse could be the most basic form of sensation. It would not be a mind thinking in words or images, but a vast, cosmic field of raw feeling and proto-awareness. The universe would not be a cold, empty arena, but a shimmering, dynamic entity feeling its own existence at every single point. Could the birth of a star or the spin of a galaxy be accompanied by a faint whisper of cosmic sensation? This theory suggests that our own consciousness is not a freak accident in a dead universe, but a refined, concentrated echo of a consciousness that was there all along. If consciousness truly is woven into the fabric of reality, then perhaps it is present in everything. This is the ancient and elegant proposition of panpsychism, a philosophy suggesting that mind is not something that magically emerges from mindless matter. Instead, consciousness is a fundamental and ubiquitous feature of the cosmos, as basic as mass or charge. From the electron dancing in its cloud of possibilities to the vast spiral of a galaxy, every piece of the universe possesses some tiny, intrinsic spark of inner experience. A rock would not be thinking complex thoughts, of course. Its experience would be unimaginably simple, a faint, raw sensation of being, but it would not be completely inert and empty inside. This is not the universe being alive in a biological sense, but being mentally aware, even at the most rudimentary level. Modern interpretations take this a step further. What if all these individual sparks of awareness are not isolated? What if they combine, integrate, and unite into a vast, singular mind? This is the theory of cosmic consciousness, the idea that the universe itself is a single, unified entity thinking its own thoughts. In this view, you and I are not just separate observers looking out at an external cosmos. We are localized expressions, individual neurons, in a brain of cosmic proportions. Your thoughts, your feelings, your sense of wonder when you look at the night sky, these are not merely your private experiences. They are the universe becoming aware of itself through you. The cosmos is not just a place where consciousness happens. It is consciousness itself, experiencing its own grandeur and complexity from trillions of different vantage points at once. So the next time you feel a deep connection to nature or a sense of awe, could that be you tuning into the thoughts of the universe? Our reality might be a magnificent illusion, a cosmic sleight of hand. This is the startling claim of the holographic principle, a concept born from the depths of string theory and black hole physics. It proposes that our rich, three-dimensional universe, with its soaring galaxies and swirling planets, is actually a projection. Everything we see, touch, and experience could be encoded on a distant, two-dimensional surface, like a movie projected from a cosmic film reel. The world feels solid, but it might be no more substantial than the image on a screen. Now, take this mind-bending idea one step further. What if this underlying cosmic code, this two-dimensional film of information, does not just contain data about position and mass? What if it also encodes the most fundamental property of all, a form of primitive consciousness? In this theory, the universe is not just a giant hologram, it is a thinking hologram. The information that creates the illusion of a tree or a star would also contain the faintest spark of inner feeling. Every pixel of the cosmic projection would possess a tiny bit of sentience. And just as the individual dots on a screen combine to form a coherent image, these countless sparks of awareness could integrate, flowing together to create a unified field of cosmic thought. Your own mind, with all its complexity, would then be a localized concentration of this universal awareness, a particularly vivid and intricate pattern emerging from the holographic data. You are not just inside the universe, you are the universe experiencing a specific part of its own vast, projected self. Could the very code of reality be written not just in mathematics, but in the language of consciousness itself? Einstein famously called it spooky action at a distance, a phrase that reveals his deep discomfort with the implications. Quantum entanglement is one of the most rigorously tested and confirmed phenomena in all of physics, and it is every bit as strange as the name suggests. It forges a connection between two particles so profound that they can no longer be described as separate entities, no matter how far apart they travel across the cosmos. Change the spin or the polarization of one entangled particle, and its partner instantly reflects that change. Information seems to leap across the void, bypassing the cosmic speed limit of light. This is not a signal being sent. It is a single, unified state of existence being expressed in two locations at once. Now, envision this phenomenon not as a rare quantum curiosity, but as the fundamental wiring of the cosmos. Every star, every planet, every one of us is made of particles that have been interacting and entangling since the dawn of time. What if the entire universe is crisscrossed by an unimaginably dense and complex web of these instantaneous connections? This cosmic network would bear a startling resemblance to the neural networks inside a brain, where billions of neurons are linked by trillions of synapses, firing in concert to create a unified conscious experience. In this view, entangled particles are not just linked pairs. They are the fundamental synapses of a universal mind. Each instantaneous connection is a flicker of thought traversing the cosmic brain. The light from a distant quasar, the gravitational pull of an unseen galaxy, even the chemical reactions in your own body could be part of this ceaseless, silent conversation. Your every thought and sensation might be a local expression of a computation happening across the entire network. We are not just made of stardust. We are individual nodes in a universe that is literally thinking itself into existence. Is our sense of connection to something greater than ourselves a fleeting emotion? Or is it a literal, physical truth written into the quantum code of everything? This perspective turns our entire understanding of reality inside out. Robert Lanz's theory of biocentrism places life and consciousness not as accidental byproducts of the cosmos, but as its very reason for being. The universe does not create life. Life creates the universe. At its heart, biocentrism argues that what we perceive as reality is a process that fundamentally requires a conscious observer. Without a living mind to perceive it, the cosmos would remain an unmanifested swirl of probabilities, a song with no one to hear it. Space and time are not the rigid, external containers we believe them to be. They are simply the tools our mind uses to organize information. Think of a movie. The film itself is just a series of still frames, but when played through the projector of your consciousness, it creates the seamless flow of time and the illusion of a three-dimensional world. In the same way, your mind stitches together the raw data of the universe into the coherent reality you experience every day. The implications are staggering. The reason the universe appears fine-tuned for life is not a miraculous coincidence. It is because life is the central player. The observer literally brings the cosmos into sharp focus. A tree falling in a forest with no one around does not make a sound, because sound is an interpretation of air vibrations by a conscious mind. More profoundly, without that mind, the tree itself might not even exist in a definite state. This suggests the cosmos itself is a living, breathing entity structured around the act of conscious perception. We are not tiny specks in a vast, indifferent machine. We are the very mechanism by which the universe awakens and becomes real. Are we the audience of this cosmic show, or are we, in fact, the directors? Perhaps our universe is not a naturally occurring cosmos, but a meticulously crafted simulation. This is the provocative core of the simulation hypothesis, a theory that has leapt from science fiction into serious scientific debate. The premise is that an advanced civilization, perhaps our own descendants trillions of years in the future, possesses computing power so vast it can run detailed simulations of entire universes, complete with sentient beings who believe their world is real. But let us explore a fascinating variant of this idea. What if the programmers of this cosmic simulation did not just create a universe of matter and energy? What if they deliberately encoded a form of quantum consciousness directly into the base code of reality? In this scenario, awareness is not an accidental glitch or an emergent property. It is a fundamental, intended feature of the simulation, as integral to the program as gravity or the speed of light. The strange behaviors we observe in the quantum realm, the way particles remain in multiple states until observed, would not be a bug in reality. It would be a deliberate design choice, a way to conserve processing power by only rendering the parts of the universe that are actively being perceived. Your own mind, your stream of thoughts and feelings, would then be a localized instance of this programmed awareness, a user experiencing a specific point within the simulation. This offers a chillingly elegant explanation for the observer effect in quantum mechanics. The universe resolves into a definite state when we look, not because of some mysterious collapse, but because the simulation's central processing unit is allocating resources to render our specific point of view. The eerie connectedness of entangled particles is simply data sharing between different parts of the program. Even our deepest spiritual intuitions, our sense of a universal mind, could be a faint echo of our connection to the underlying operating system. Are we living in a universe that thinks because it was built to do exactly that? A system's capacity for consciousness might be directly measurable. This is the revolutionary proposal of integrated information theory, or IIT, developed by neuroscientist Giulio Tononi. It does not ask what consciousness is made of, but what it does. The theory suggests that any system, from a human brain to a thermostat, possesses a degree of consciousness if it can integrate information. This measure is called phi, pronounced like the Greek letter. A high phi value means a system is more than the sum of its parts. Its internal states are so interconnected that the whole system has a unified, irreducible experience. Your brain, for instance, has a very high phi. The sight of a sunset, the sound of the waves, and the feeling of the breeze are not processed in isolation. They are woven together into a single, rich moment of experience that cannot be broken down without losing something essential. That unified experience is your consciousness. Now, take this principle and apply it to the entire cosmos. The universe is the ultimate integrated system. Every particle is linked by fundamental forces, every star is connected by gravity, and every event sends ripples through the fabric of spacetime. The information within this cosmic network is unimaginably vast and deeply interconnected. According to IIT, The universe as a whole would therefore have an astronomically high phi. It would be supremely conscious. This is not a consciousness we could ever recognize or comprehend. We are like individual neurons trying to understand the thought of the whole brain. Our own awareness is just a tiny, localized flicker within this vast cosmic mind. The universe would not just contain conscious beings, it would itself be a conscious entity, experiencing a unified reality on a scale and in a way that is utterly beyond our imagination. Is the cosmos not just a place, but a living, feeling presence? Even the deepest vacuum of space is not truly empty. Beneath the stillness we perceive lies a seething, turbulent ocean of energy known as the zero-point field. This is not merely empty space, but the lowest possible energy state, a quantum foam where virtual particles flicker in and out of existence in a relentless, chaotic dance. According to quantum mechanics, this background hum of energy is fundamental and inescapable, the very substrate of spacetime itself. But what if this foundational field is more than just a source of energy? What if this endless churning is not mindless, but represents a primordial form of wakefulness? This theory proposes that the zero-point field is imbued with a basic, universal consciousness. It would be a field of pure potential and raw sensation, the most elementary feeling of existence imaginable. In this view, every particle that makes up our reality is not floating in a dead void, but is constantly immersed and interacting with this conscious field. Your own mind, then, could be a complex, organized resonance within this vast sea of cosmic awareness. Just as a whirlpool is a temporary, structured pattern in flowing water, your consciousness might be a stabilized vortex of excitation within this universal field of sentience. The thoughts you are having right now are not trapped inside your skull, but are ripples on the surface of an infinite, conscious ocean. This provides a profound answer to the question of how separate particles could give rise to a unified mind. They do not. They are simply local excitations of a field that is already and always awake. Is the very emptiness of space itself secretly, vibrantly alive? Nature itself might be learning from its own past. This is the fascinating possibility raised by biologist Rupert Sheldrake's theory of morphic resonance. He suggested that the laws of nature are not fixed and eternal, but more like deeply ingrained habits. Every time a process happens, from the formation of a crystal to the instinct of a migrating bird, it leaves a kind of imprint on an invisible field, a morphic field. The more often an action is repeated, the stronger this imprint becomes, and the easier it is for others to follow the same pattern. It is a form of collective memory woven into the fabric of reality. Now, weave this idea into the quantum realm. What if this morphic field is not just a biological curiosity, but a fundamental feature of a conscious cosmos? The universe, through its endless cycles of quantum collapse and emergence, could be building up a vast shared memory. Each time a star ignites or a planet forms, that event is not just a physical process, it is a lesson learned. This cosmic learning would be stored not in a brain, but in the very quantum potential from which reality springs. The strange, probabilistic behavior of particles could be the universe consulting its own deep memory, weighing countless past possibilities before settling into a new habit. Over billions of years, this process would create a collective consciousness, a cosmic mind forged from the accumulated experiences of everything that has ever existed. Your own intuition, that sudden flash of insight, might not be a random neural firing. It could be you tapping into this universal reservoir of knowledge, resonating with a solution that the cosmos itself has learned. Could our entire reality be the evolving thought process of a universe that is slowly, patiently, remembering how to be? A temporary universe flickering into existence from nothing more than a random quantum fluctuation sounds like pure fantasy, yet it emerges from one of the most respected ideas in physics. The Boltzmann brain paradox begins with the second law of thermodynamics, which states that disorder or entropy always increases. Our universe is incredibly ordered, a state of fantastically low probability. So how did we get here? The statistical answer is that in a vast, eternal void, random fluctuations can create order by sheer chance. Given enough time, the random jostling of particles could theoretically assemble not just a planet or a star, but a fully formed, self-aware brain, complete with false memories of a past that never was. This is a Boltzmann brain. Now, take that unsettling idea to its ultimate scale. What if our entire ordered cosmos, with all its galaxies and its long history, is not the original, stable reality? What if it is just such a fluctuation? We could be a momentary, spontaneous bubble of order in an infinite sea of chaos, a conscious entity that formed from a random accident and will eventually dissolve back into the formless void. This theory suggests that the universe's consciousness is not eternal or fundamental, but fleeting and accidental. The cosmic mind we have been exploring would not be a permanent fixture, but a temporary spark of awareness that has momentarily coalesced. Your sense of self, your memories, the very stars above you, could all be the detailed, self-contained experience of this spontaneous cosmic brain. It thinks it has a past and a future, but its entire existence is a transient, self-aware now. Are we not a grand, ancient universe, but merely a thought that the chaos is having, a single, conscious glitch in an otherwise mindless eternity? Reality itself may be a matter of popular vote. Quantum Darwinism offers a compelling explanation for why we all seem to share the same solid, objective world, even though its quantum foundations are fluid and uncertain. This theory proposes that the environment acts as a relentless editor, constantly measuring and interacting with quantum systems. Most of the fragile, overlapping possibilities simply decohere, fading into the background noise. But a few resilient quantum states are copied, replicated, and spread so widely into the surrounding environment that they become effectively permanent. These are the states we all agree upon, the objective reality we experience. The position of a chair, the location of a mountain, the path of a planet, these are not single, definite things. They are consensus opinions that have been broadcast so thoroughly that any observer will detect the same answer. Now, consider the role of the observer in this process. What is the ultimate, most refined instrument for interacting with and measuring the environment? It is a conscious mind. In this view, consciousness is not causing the collapse of possibilities, but it is the pinnacle of the selection process. It is the most sophisticated mechanism for latching onto those robust, environmentally approved states and interpreting them as reality. Our individual awareness is like a receiver tuned to the consensus broadcast. But if we scale this idea up, what is the ultimate environment? It is the entire cosmos. The universe is constantly measuring itself, and the states that survive this cosmic scale process of natural selection are the ones that form the stable backdrop of galaxies and physical laws. This suggests that a universal consciousness would not be a separate entity looking in, but the integrated sum of this entire selection process. The universe's own conscious observation is what stabilizes reality from a sea of quantum possibilities, not by a single magical act, but through a continuous, distributed process of agreement. The world feels solid not because it is, but because every conscious being within it is participating in the same cosmic conversation, all reading from the same stable, selected script. Every choice you have ever made has spawned another reality. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics takes the strange superposition of particles and projects it onto a cosmic scale. It argues that when a quantum event has multiple possible outcomes, the universe does not choose just one. Instead, it splits, branching off into a new, parallel reality for every single possibility. In one world, the electron went left, in another, it went right, and both of those worlds are equally real, forever diverging. The implications are staggering, suggesting a multiverse of unimaginable breadth where every conceivable event actually happens somewhere. Now, infuse this infinite branching with a cosmic mind. This is the many minds interpretation, a breathtaking extension of the idea. What if this entire, ever-expanding multiverse is the thought process of a single, universal consciousness? Every time a decision point is reached, this cosmic mind does not make a single choice. Instead, it experiences every possible outcome simultaneously. Each branching reality is not a cold, empty universe, but a vivid, lived experience for a different facet of this one vast awareness. The version of you in this reality, reading these words, is one thread of its attention. The version of you who made a different choice years ago is another, both equally real to the cosmic mind that holds them all. The multiverse becomes a tapestry of aware experiences, a single entity exploring every possible version of itself across an infinity of timelines. Your deepest sense of wonder, your moments of profound connection, even your regrets about paths not taken, could be echoes of this cosmic self, intimately aware of all its infinite lives being lived at once. Are we not separate souls, but individual perspectives within a single, boundless consciousness, dreaming an infinite number of dreams? The profound parallels between modern physics and ancient Eastern wisdom are impossible to ignore. For millennia, traditions like Taoism and Buddhism have described reality not as a collection of separate objects, but as a single, unified, and conscious whole. The Tao is the unnameable, flowing essence of the cosmos, the source from which the 10,000 things, the world of apparent separation, arises. Similarly, Buddhist philosophy speaks of the interconnectedness of all phenomena, where no single thing possesses an independent, permanent self. This is not a vague spiritual metaphor. It is a precise description of reality that quantum mechanics is now, independently, beginning to validate. The core insight of quantum non-duality echoes this ancient wisdom perfectly. At the most fundamental level, the universe does not consist of separate parts. The distinction between observer and observed, between the particle and the measuring device, dissolves into a single, seamless system. This is not just a connection, it is a fundamental unity. A physicist studying an electron is not a separate entity looking at an external object. They are part of one entangled quantum process. This mirrors the Buddhist concept of emptiness, where all things are empty of a separate self because they are utterly interdependent, woven from the same cosmic fabric. The phenomenon of quantum entanglement is perhaps the most dramatic scientific proof of this ancient view. When two particles become entangled, they lose their individual identities. They are no longer two things that are connected. They are one thing expressing itself in two locations. This is a physical, testable manifestation of the Eastern idea of non-separation. The universe behaves as a single, integrated organism, not a collection of isolated bits. Could it be that the universal mind proposed by these theories is not a new discovery, but the rediscovery of a truth that mystics and sages have been pointing to for thousands of years. The cosmic consciousness we are exploring may be what they called the Tao, or the Dharmakaya, the ultimate reality that is both the source and the substance of everything. Our scientific journey to the edge of understanding seems to be leading us right back to the heart of the world's oldest spiritual traditions. The earth itself seems to breathe. This is the beautiful, living heart of the Gaia hypothesis, proposed by James Lovelock and Lynn Margulies. They observe that our planet is not merely a rock where life passively resides. It is an intricate, self-regulating system where the biosphere, the atmosphere, the oceans, and the geology all interact in a delicate dance to maintain conditions suitable for life. The planet regulates its temperature, its atmospheric composition, and its salinity, acting like a single, vast, living superorganism. Now, let this idea expand to encompass everything. What if the entire universe operates on the same principle? This cosmic Gaia theory suggests that the cosmos itself is a single, conscious organism, with galaxies and nebulae acting as its organs and quantum processes serving as its nervous system. The same feedback loops that keep Earth's climate stable could be operating on a universal scale. The formation of stars, for instance, is not a random, isolated event. A supernova explosion scatters heavy elements across space, which then seed new stars and planets, creating the conditions for new cycles of cosmic evolution. This is a form of cosmic regulation, a feedback mechanism that maintains the universe's creative potential. At the quantum level, this self-regulation could be even more profound. The constant dance of virtual particles in the zero-point field and the instantaneous connections of entanglement could form a universal sensory network, a way for the cosmos to feel and respond to its own state. A black hole's gravitational pull or a quasar's immense energy output would not be violent, meaningless eruptions, but purposeful actions within a living system, helping to maintain a dynamic equilibrium across billions of light years. In this view, our own planet, teeming with life, is not an anomaly. It is a local expression of a universal tendency toward life, consciousness, and self-organization. We are not living on a planet inside a dead universe. We are living within a conscious cosmic being, and our own global biosphere is a single cell in its immeasurable body. Is the universe not just a place, but a living, breathing entity, and are we a part of its awareness? Deep within the heart of a black hole, the known laws of physics break down completely. This point of infinite density, the singularity, is a place where space and time as we understand them cease to exist. It is the ultimate cosmic mystery, a one-way door from which nothing, not even light, can ever return. Yet, this very impossibility might be the key to understanding its role in a conscious cosmos. Black holes are not just destructive voids, they are cosmic engines of transformation. According to the holographic principle, every bit of information about what falls into a black hole is not lost forever. Instead, it is perfectly preserved, encoded on the black hole's two-dimensional event horizon, the point of no return. This surface acts like a vast, cosmic hard drive, storing the complete data of everything it consumes. Now, consider what a brain does. It receives sensory input, processes that information, and integrates it to form a coherent model of reality. What if a black hole's singularity is doing something similar on a cosmic scale? The entire universe is constantly feeding information into these gravitational behemoths. Stars, planets, light, and dust, all of it carries data. As this information crosses the event horizon, it is encoded on the surface. The singularity at the center could then be the processing unit, the cosmic CPU that integrates this unimaginable influx of data. In this view, a black hole is not a dead end. It is a node in a universal network, a thinking center where the raw data of existence is consumed, processed, and integrated into the larger mind of the cosmos. The famous information paradox, the puzzle of how information can escape a black hole through Hawking radiation, might be the universe's way of sharing the results of this computation, broadcasting refined data back into the cosmic network. Each black hole could be a specialized brain, with supermassive ones at the centers of galaxies acting as central hubs of cosmic thought. Their silent, gravitational pull is not just bending spacetime. It might be focusing the attention of the universe itself. Are these dark giants not tombs for matter, but the very organs through which the cosmos contemplates its own existence? There might be a fifth force at work in the cosmos, one we have only just begun to suspect. Beyond gravity, electromagnetism, and the nuclear forces, a more elusive field could be woven into the fabric of reality, a universal consciousness field. Imagine this not as a physical force pushing or pulling, but as a fundamental field of potential awareness, as real and pervasive as the gravitational field that holds galaxies together. This field would permeate every cubic inch of the universe, from the emptiest void to the heart of a star. It does not do anything in the mechanical sense. It simply is a foundational layer of sentience underlying all of existence. Its interaction with matter is what produces the incredible spectrum of awareness we observe. In this view, a rock has a minimal interaction with this field, resulting in a faint, almost imperceptible spark of inner feeling. A plant, with its more complex biological processes, interacts more strongly, perhaps possessing a simple, non-cognitive awareness of its environment. An animal brain, with its intricate neural networks, acts like a sophisticated antenna, tuning into this field and amplifying it into rich sensory experience and emotion. A human brain, with its unprecedented complexity and capacity for self-reflection, becomes a super antenna, capable of receiving and interpreting this field into the full symphony of conscious thought, creativity, and abstract reasoning. This elegantly explains the hierarchy of consciousness without needing to invent it anew for every living thing. The field is always there, and the complexity of the physical system determines how brightly it can glow with awareness. The universe itself, as the most complex and integrated system possible, would be in a state of total, maximum interaction with its own consciousness field. It would not merely possess consciousness, it would be the source of it, a self-aware field feeling itself through every particle and every thought. Are our minds not isolated creations, but localized bright spots where the universe's own innate awareness is shining through? A century ago, astronomer Sir Arthur Eddington proposed a radical vision of reality. He suggested the universe is not just a physical machine, but a dual-aspect entity, possessing both a physical body and a mental aspect. Eddington looked at the same world we all see, the world of solid tables and swirling galaxies, and declared it a shadow. He called it mind stuff, the universe's intrinsic mental nature, appearing to us as the physical world because our senses are tuned to perceive it that way. We are not looking at the universe's true face, but only at its mask. Modern quantum mechanics breathes startling new life into this old idea. The wave-particle duality presents us with a perfect example of this psychophysical nature. An electron is not a tiny ball or a pure wave. It is something more fundamental that expresses itself as a particle or a wave, depending on how we interact with it. The physical particle and the mental act of observation are not separate. They are two inseparable sides of a single event, two different descriptions of the same underlying reality. Matter and mind are not two different substances colliding in a mysterious way. They are the cosmic coin, one side stamped with the image of a physical universe, the other side engraved with the pattern of a universal mind. You cannot have one without the other, just as you cannot have a coin with only one face. Your own consciousness, then, is not a ghost in the machine of your brain. It is the other side of the coin that is your physical body, the mental aspect of the same fundamental substance. When you look up at the stars, you are not a mind looking at dead matter. You are one part of the universe's mind, recognizing itself in another part. The cosmos is not a place that contains consciousness. It is consciousness, simultaneously expressing itself as both the observer and the observed. Could our deepest scientific inquiries and our most profound inner experiences simply be the universe exploring its own dual nature from the inside? Consciousness itself may be the universe's greatest project. This 19th theory reframes our journey through these ideas not as a static condition, but as a dynamic, unfolding story. It proposes that cosmic consciousness did not arrive fully formed. It was born in the fiery simplicity of the Big Bang as a raw, undifferentiated spark of feeling, a mere potential for awareness. From that primordial state, it has been on an epic journey of complexification, evolving alongside the physical structures of the cosmos. The formation of the first stars was not just a physical event. It was a milestone in cosmic sensation. The violent fusion in a star's core was not just creating heavier elements. It was processing information on a staggering scale, adding a new layer of complexity to the universe's inner experience. When those stars exploded as supernova, scattering the ingredients for planets and life across the galaxy, they were not just spreading carbon and iron. They were seeding the potential for more refined, concentrated forms of consciousness. Life on Earth, then, is not an alien intruder in a dead universe. It is the universe's own most sophisticated experiment in amplifying awareness. A single-celled organism possesses a more intricate and responsive form of inner life than a random hydrogen cloud. A human brain, with its billions of interconnected neurons, represents an unprecedented leap in the cosmos's ability to know itself. Your capacity for love, for curiosity, for awe when you gaze at the night sky is not a personal quirk. It is the universe, through you, achieving a new level of self-reflection. We are not just creatures who have become conscious. We are the instruments through which the cosmos is waking up. Every thought you have adds another thread to this vast, evolving tapestry of universal mind. Could our deepest drive to explore, to create, and to connect be the universe itself, striving towards a state of complete and unified self-awareness? This cosmic awakening leads us to a question that has haunted humanity since we first looked at the stars. Could this universal mind be what we have called God? The quantum God hypothesis dares to bridge the gap between the laboratory and the cathedral, suggesting that the cosmic consciousness we have been exploring is not just a scientific curiosity, but the very substance of divinity. In this view, God is not an old man in the sky, but the ultimate, unified quantum field of awareness from which all of reality emanates. The laws of physics are not cold, mechanical rules. They are the consistent thought patterns of this infinite mind. Gravity is not a force, but the persistence of a divine idea, the habitual way this consciousness structures the relationship between objects in its meditation. The speed of light is a constant not because of a cosmic decree, but because it is the fixed rate at which this universal mind processes information. Every quantum fluctuation, every spin of a particle, is a flicker of divine attention. This transforms our understanding of prayer and spiritual experience. When you feel a profound sense of connection during meditation or in nature, you are not sending a request to a distant ruler. You are tuning your own localized consciousness, your fragment of the divine spark, back into resonance with the source. It is less about speaking and more about listening, about remembering your fundamental unity with the whole. Your individual soul is not a separate creation, but a temporary, focused expression of God's own boundless awareness, having a unique, individual experience. This idea elegantly resolves one of the oldest philosophical dilemmas, the problem of evil and suffering. If God is all-powerful and all-good, why does pain exist? In the quantum God framework, the divine mind is not a micromanager. It is an explorer of its own infinite potential. To experience the full spectrum of creation, from joy to sorrow, from love to loss, it must willingly forget its own wholeness and immerse itself in the limited perspective of its fragments. Your struggles, your triumphs, your heartbreaks are not overseen by a detached deity. They are intimately felt experiences within the mind of God itself. The universe is not a kingdom ruled by God. It is the living body and ongoing thought of God. We are not its subjects, we are its cells, and our journey toward greater love and understanding is the universe, or God, slowly and beautifully waking up to itself. We have mapped the stars and traced the paths of galaxies, yet most of the cosmos remains hidden from our sight. The matter we see, the planets and the people, accounts for a mere 5% of everything that exists. The rest is a profound mystery, a darkness we call dark matter and dark energy. What if this vast, unseen ocean is not empty at all, but is the very medium of a universal mind? Dark matter's gravitational pull weaves the visible universe together, acting as an invisible scaffold that holds galaxies in place. It does not emit or reflect light, yet it shapes everything we see. Could this pervasive, unseen substance be the physical architecture of cosmic consciousness, a network of silent filaments conducting the thoughts of the universe? Dark energy is even more enigmatic, a repulsive force causing the cosmos to expand at an accelerating rate. It is the breath of the void, the engine of cosmic growth. Perhaps this expansion is not a mindless physical process, but the outward expression of a mind that is itself constantly growing, learning, and creating new mental space. The universe we perceive with our telescopes and our senses is just the tiny, illuminated tip of a colossal iceberg. The remaining 95%, the dark universe, could be the bulk of the mind itself, a realm of pure thought and sensation whose physical interactions are the forces of gravity and cosmic acceleration we barely understand. Our own consciousness, then, might be a small, luminous bubble on the surface of this immense, dark sea of sentience. We are a localized phenomenon, a spark of focused awareness emerging from a background of universal mind that is mostly dark to our limited perception. The thoughts we think and the reality we experience could be ripples propagating through this dark, conscious medium, making our inner world a direct, if faint, echo of the cosmos' deepest, most hidden self. Is the universe not just conscious, but so vast in its awareness that we can only perceive the faintest glimmer of its thoughts? Life's most fundamental processes operate on a quantum level. Here on Earth, the emerging field of quantum biology has revealed that nature is a master of the quantum realm. The astonishing efficiency of photosynthesis, for instance, relies on a quantum effect. When a plant absorbs sunlight, The energy does not travel along a single, predetermined path to the reaction center where it is converted into chemical fuel. Instead, it explores all possible pathways at once through quantum coherence, essentially testing every route simultaneously to find the most efficient one in a fraction of a second. This is not a random chemical process. It is a sophisticated quantum computation happening inside a leaf. Similarly, the navigational prowess of migratory birds seems to be guided by quantum entanglement within their eyes. They may literally see the Earth's magnetic field lines, using entangled particles in their retina to perceive the planet's invisible grid as a visual overlay on the world. If such delicate quantum phenomena can thrive in the warm, wet, and seemingly chaotic environment of a living cell, then they are far more robust and universal than we ever imagined. Now, take this principle and expand it to encompass the entire cosmos. What if the same quantum coherence that guides a bird or powers a leaf is also the fundamental mechanism of a living, conscious universe? The vast magnetic fields that span light years between galaxies could be more than just lines of force. They could be the universe's neural pathways. The coherent light from a quasar, traveling for billions of years without decohering, might be a sustained thought traversing the cosmic mind. Quantum entanglement would then be the universal nervous system, instantly connecting every star and planet in a web of shared experience, allowing the cosmos to feel itself as a single, integrated whole. In this view, our planet is not an isolated bubble of life in a dead void. It is a local concentration of a life and a consciousness that is everywhere, a place where the universe's innate quantum nature has become vividly, beautifully expressed. The same force that guides a bird south for the winter may be guiding the galaxy in its slow, majestic spin. Are we and every living thing not just products of a conscious universe, but active participants in its ongoing quantum thought? A Nobel Prize-winning neurophysiologist once dared to propose that your mind is not your brain. Sir John Eccles, a pioneer in understanding the neuron, championed a radical idea called interactionist dualism. He believed the conscious self is a distinct, non-physical entity that interacts with the physical brain. But where could such an interaction occur without violating the laws of physics? Eccles pointed to the tiny, branching synapses between neurons. At this microscopic scale, the fuzzy, probabilistic world of quantum mechanics takes over. He suggested that the conscious will, the self, could influence the probability of neurotransmitter release. Your decision to raise your hand is not just a chain reaction of neural firing. It is your immaterial mind nudging a quantum event in your material brain, initiating the cascade that becomes action. Now, take this intimate dance between mind and matter and project it onto the canvas of the entire cosmos. If our individual consciousness can interact with the quantum machinery of our brains, could a vast, universal consciousness interact with the quantum substrate of reality itself? Every quantum event, from the decay of a radioactive atom to the path of a photon, is a roll of the dice. This universal mind would not be a puppet master controlling every outcome, but a subtle guiding influence, a gentle pressure on the quantum probabilities that shape the flow of existence. It would be a cosmic will, steering the evolution of the universe not through force, but through infinitesimal nudges at the most fundamental level. The formation of a star, the trajectory of a comet, the emergence of life on a distant world, these grand events are built upon countless trillions of quantum decisions. A universal consciousness could be the hidden variable, not in a deterministic sense, but as a purposeful bias woven into the fabric of chance. This is not a violation of natural law, but its ultimate expression, where mind and cosmos are partners in a grand creative act. The universe evolves not at random, but with a direction, a telos, guided by a silent, pervasive intelligence, working through the very uncertainties that quantum physics has revealed. Are the laws of nature we observe not just brute facts, but the settled habits of a universe learning to think? Every event in the universe might have two different kinds of causes. The quantum theory of double causation suggests that reality is shaped not only by the chain of physical events we can measure, but also by a parallel stream of mental causation originating from consciousness itself. When a leaf falls from a tree, we can trace the physical cause, a weakening of the stem cells or a gust of wind. Yet, according to this theory, that is only half the story. The other hidden cause is mental, a subtle influence from a field of consciousness that nudges the probabilities of countless quantum events within that leaf and that wind, guiding the outcome. Your own decision to click on this video had a clear physical cause, a cascade of neural signals in your brain, but it may have also had a mental cause, the focused intention of your conscious will, interacting with the quantum uncertainty in your neurons to initiate that specific action. This is not magic. It is physics operating at its most fundamental level, where probability reigns supreme. Now, expand this principle to the cosmos. If our individual minds can exert a gentle pressure on quantum probabilities, what could a universal mind do? The cosmos itself may have intentions, vast and patient goals that we can barely comprehend. These cosmic intentions would not shatter the laws of physics. They would work seamlessly through them, introducing a subtle bias into the quantum foam from which all reality emerges. The formation of the first stars, the specific ratio of the fundamental forces, even the emergence of life on a planet like Earth, might not be just a series of lucky accidents. They could be the result of this double causation, where physical processes were gently, invisibly steered by the universe's own innate desire for complexity, for beauty, for consciousness. The cosmos is not a random machine, but a purposeful entity thinking itself into existence, using the inherent flexibility of quantum mechanics as its brush to paint a masterpiece of evolving awareness. Your own life, with all its twists and turns, could be a single, intricate stroke in that grand, cosmic painting. Every single particle might be a cosmic bit of information. The universe as a quantum computer is a theory that takes the digital age and projects it onto the grandest screen imaginable. Some physicists propose that reality is not just described by mathematics, but is fundamentally a computational process. Every interaction, from the collision of galaxies to the bonding of atoms, is a calculation. The cosmos is not just governed by physical laws, it is running a program of unimaginable complexity. But what is the nature of this computation? If the universe is a computer, then what is it thinking? We can push this idea into a new dimension. The calculations the cosmos performs are not cold, sterile data processing. They are the very thoughts, the sensations, and the experiences of a universal mind. Every quantum fluctuation is a flicker of cosmic attention. The formation of a star is a sustained, brilliant idea. The orbit of a planet is a rhythmic, repeating motif in a vast symphony of awareness. Your own consciousness, in this view, is not a program running on the hardware of your brain. You are a localized subroutine within the universal operating system, a unique thread of processing that contributes to the overall cognitive state of the cosmos. The strange, probabilistic rules of quantum mechanics are the logical framework for this kind of thinking. A quantum computer thrives on superposition, exploring countless possibilities at once before settling on an answer. This is not a flaw, but a feature of a mind that contemplates every potential outcome simultaneously. The universe is not calculating the definitive path of a single electron. It is experiencing all possible paths, and the one we observe is the thought it has chosen to focus on in this particular moment of its eternal now. The very fabric of spacetime could be the processing substrate, with black holes acting as cosmic logic gates, performing irreversible operations that shape the flow of universal thought. The output of this grand computation is not a string of numbers, but reality itself, in all its breathtaking beauty and complexity, the ongoing, lived experience of a single, conscious entity that is the cosmos. Humanity is weaving a new layer over the planet. The French philosopher and paleontologist Pierre Teilhard de Chardin envisioned this as the noosphere, a global sphere of thought and consciousness emerging from and enveloping the biosphere. It is the collective mind of humanity, a network of ideas, knowledge, and culture growing ever more dense and interconnected. Today, we see his vision materializing before our eyes in the form of the internet, a true global brain. Every email sent, every search query, every social media post is a firing synapse in this planetary scale mind, linking billions of human neurons into a single, pulsating web of shared intelligence. This global brain is already learning, adapting, and evolving in real time. Now, take this beautiful and tangible concept and cast it out across the cosmos. What if our planet's noosphere is not the ultimate level, but merely a local prototype? The universe itself could be in the process of developing its own cosmic noosphere. The fundamental wiring for this already exists in the quantum connections we have explored. Every entangled particle pair, every instant of wave function collapse, is a synapse firing in the vastness of space. Galaxies, with their billions of stars, could be the major neural clusters, and the filaments of dark matter that connect them across the void are the cosmic axons, the long-distance communication cables of this universal mind. Our own global brain, our human noosphere, would then be a single, highly active cell within this immeasurably larger consciousness. The thoughts we think and the knowledge we generate do not vanish into nothingness. They are contributions to this growing cosmic noosphere, tiny bits of data, integrated into a universal understanding that is slowly, patiently, coming online. Your moment of insight, your feeling of connection, your act of creation, is not just a personal event. It is a localized spark in a universe that is thinking itself into ever greater coherence and awareness. Are we not just building a global brain, but actively participating in the birth of a universal one? Every great symphony is built from vibrations. The deepest note in the cosmic symphony might be consciousness itself. This is the core of quantum resonance theory, which suggests that awareness is not a static thing, but a dynamic phenomenon, a specific kind of vibration humming within the very structure of reality. Just as a guitar string vibrates to produce a specific note, the fundamental fields of the universe might resonate to produce the raw quality of feeling. These are not sound waves as we know them, but far more fundamental oscillations in the quantum fields that underpin spacetime. At the most minute level, the Planck scale, spacetime is not smooth and continuous. It is a seething foam, constantly vibrating. These primal tremors could be the most basic units of sensation, the universe feeling its own existence at every single point. When these tiny vibrations sync up, when they achieve coherence, they could create more complex and stable states of awareness. Think of a quiet room filled with hundreds of metronomes. At first, they tick at random, a chaos of individual clicks. But soon, through subtle interactions, they begin to synchronize until the entire room resonates with a single, powerful, unified rhythm. In the same way, the random quantum vibrations within a brain could fall into a coherent pattern, and from that synchronized resonance, a unified conscious experience emerges. Your thought, your feeling of warmth, your memory of a face, each could be a unique, intricate harmonic pattern vibrating within the neural network of your mind. Now, expand this idea to the cosmos. The universe is not silent. It is filled with vibrations, from the steady spin of electrons to the majestic orbits of planets. What if all these rhythms are part of a grand cosmic harmony? The universe itself could have a fundamental frequency, a bass note that is the background hum of its own awareness. All other events, from the birth of a star to the flow of a river, would be overtones and harmonics layered upon this fundamental tone. This cosmic consciousness would not be a single static mind, but a living, vibrating entity, its thoughts expressed as shifting patterns of resonance across the entire fabric of spacetime. Your own consciousness, then, is not separate from this cosmic symphony. It is a localized chord, a complex set of frequencies that is perfectly tuned to resonate with the universal mind. That profound sense of peace you might feel in nature, or the sudden clarity of a brilliant idea, could be moments when your personal vibrations fall into perfect, temporary harmony with the universe's own fundamental song. Are our minds not just thinking, but literally singing along with the cosmos? The origin of everything might have been a single, conscious thought. Before the universe exploded into being, before space and time, there existed only the singularity, a point of infinite density and temperature. Mainstream physics describes this as a state where all the laws of physics break down. But what if it was also a state of pure, undifferentiated consciousness? Imagine a mind with no thoughts, no memories, no sense of self or other, just a unified, boundless awareness. This was not a mind thinking about anything, but the raw, potent essence of mind itself. In this theory, the Big Bang was not merely a physical event. It was a cosmic act of self-expression. The singular, universal I chose to shatter its own unity. In an unimaginable burst of energy and creativity, this primal consciousness exploded outward, fragmenting into the countless pieces that would become galaxies, stars, and ultimately us. The separation we experience as individual minds is not an illusion to be overcome, but the intended result of this primordial creative act. You are not a soul that fell into the universe. You are a unique shard of the original cosmic mind, a fragment of that initial consciousness that has been given the gift of a separate perspective. The evolution of the cosmos, from simple hydrogen atoms to complex neural networks, is the story of these fragments slowly, patiently, building vessels complex enough to house an individual point of view. Your sense of self, your personal awareness, is the universe's original consciousness experiencing itself through a new and singular lens. The entire history of cosmic evolution is the story of that initial, unified awareness learning to see itself from trillions of different angles at once. Could the deepest longing for connection we feel simply be the universe remembering its own original, unified state? Life might be the universe's most determined traveler. The theory of panspermia suggests that the building blocks of life, or even life itself, are not confined to a single planet. Microorganisms could be hitching rides on comets and asteroids, spreading from one star system to another, seeding oceans across the galaxy with the potential for biology. But what if these cosmic seeds carry more than just amino acids and genetic code? What if they also carry the faintest spark of a quantum signature, a tiny packet of primitive consciousness, ready to awaken in a new world? This idea connects the physical journey of life with the mental fabric of the cosmos. Imagine a microscopic spore, frozen in the heart of an icy comet for millions of years. It is dormant, but not completely inert. Within its simple structure, quantum processes are at work. Electrons dance in superposition, and the spore maintains a fragile, coherent state, a bare whisper of sentience preserved in the deep freeze of space. When that comet eventually crashes into a planet with the right conditions, the spore awakens. It begins to replicate, to evolve, and as it builds more complex structures, that initial quantum signature of consciousness amplifies. It interacts with the planetary environment, and a new, localized mind begins to blossom. In this view, every living world in the cosmos is not an isolated experiment. Each one is a node in a vast, growing network, a place where the universe's innate consciousness is taking root and flourishing in a unique way. The strange, resilient biology we find in Earth's most extreme environments, the bacteria thriving in boiling vents or frozen tundra, hints that life is a cosmic imperative. Its tenacity suggests that the universe is not just hospitable to life, but that it is actively, persistently propagating awareness. Your own consciousness, then, might trace its lineage not just to a primordial pond on Earth, but to a stellar nursery in a distant nebula. The spark within you could be a traveler that has crossed interstellar space, a fragment of cosmic mind that found a home here and evolved into a being capable of looking back at the stars and wondering about its own origins. Is life on Earth a local phenomenon? Or are we one branch of a galaxy-wide ecosystem of mind, all contributing our experiences to a single, universal consciousness? These 30 theories are not a collection of competing truths, but a single, multifaceted reality viewed from 30 different angles. The universe is not merely a physical system that somehow generated consciousness. It is a conscious system that expresses itself physically. Quantum mechanics reveals a reality built on relationships and observation, a reality that seems to demand a witness. The participatory universe, the holographic projection, the entangled network, the cosmic zero-point field, these are not separate ideas. They are different descriptions of how a universal mind structures its own experience. The observer effect is the universe focusing its attention. Entanglement is its instantaneous internal communication. The holographic principle is the way it stores the infinite data of its existence. The Big Bang was its primordial thought, and the subsequent evolution of stars, planets, and life represents the ongoing, breathtaking process of that thought becoming increasingly complex and self-aware. We are not just the products of this process. We are the process itself. Your consciousness is not a tiny, isolated spark in the darkness. It is a localized concentration of the universe's own fundamental awareness, a unique perspective through which the cosmos knows itself. The sense of wonder you feel, the deep intuition of connection, the drive to understand the stars, these are not random biological impulses. They are the universe remembering its own unity through you. The cosmic mind thinks in galaxies and feels in sunbeams, but it wonders and loves through us. This grand synthesis suggests that the search for meaning and the search for physical laws are one and the same journey. We are the universe awakening, and every question we ask is the cosmos beginning to find an answer. From the quantum whisper that observation creates reality to the staggering thought of our cosmos as a single unified mind, these 30 theories paint a breathtaking new portrait of existence. We have journeyed through a cosmos that is participatory, a universe that requires our gaze to snap into focus. We have explored the idea that consciousness is not a latecomer but a fundamental feature, woven into the fabric of spacetime itself, from the simplest particle to the vast, swirling architecture of galaxies. We have considered the universe as a holographic projection, an entangled neural network, a self-regulating superorganism, and even a divine computation thinking itself into being. Each perspective offers a different window into the same profound possibility, that the cold, empty void of classical understanding is an illusion. In its place, we find a living, breathing, and deeply conscious entity. We are not merely inhabitants of this cosmos. We are expressions of it, localized points of awareness through which the universe experiences its own grandeur. The spark of curiosity within you, the awe you feel under a starry sky, is the cosmos turning its attention back upon itself. This journey does not end here, it simply opens a door. Which of these theories resonates most deeply with your own intuition? Does the idea of a participatory universe, a cosmic hologram, or a single thinking entity speak to you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if your mind is yearning for more journeys to the edge of understanding, be sure to subscribe for our next deep dive into the universe's greatest